Greetings there, I am Mr. Foreman.
And I'm Summer Wilms, and we are off to Utah. All we know so far is that we're going to paddle the Green River, and after that, we're just going to see where the road takes us.
Crossing the Sierras, the Disco joins the Interstate 50 through Nevada, known as the loneliest road in America. The next state over is Utah, where this adventure is to begin. Just arriving in Moab now, and as you can see, it's a popular place.
Which makes sense because it is both popular for four-wheel driving and it's known as the adventure hub of the Southwest. What we call a hard day's drive is a lot less than most hardy folks, so it's taken us 2 days to reach Moab. Upon arrival, we obtain a hotel room to recuperate and consolidate some form of a plan.
Someone's trying to make the bed before we see it on the camera, so that we don't look like slobs.
One of us is.
But the messy bed's all Cricket's fault.
Actually, it is. Surrounded by hostile country, intersected by rugged mountains, plateaus, and deep chasms, is a green valley containing the town of Moab. To the north, one can see the Colorado River that makes a quick visit here before continuing its journey down to Mexico. The town was settled back in the 1870s, and although it started life on agriculture and trade, it was in the mid-1900s that uranium was discovered. It was the mining explorations that carved out many of the wild backcountry trails now coveted by four-wheel drive enthusiasts. The town is well stocked with Jeep and ATV rentals and tour companies offering safaris and river expeditions. Moab is also within close proximity to both Arches and Canyonlands, very popular national parks. Both these and the surrounding countryside are crisscrossed by countless smaller trails attracting hikers and mountain bikers. The region is labeled as one of America's top adventure destinations.
This morning we're heading to the outskirts of Moab to break in our hiking legs and get acclimated to the countryside around us with a little walk up the Grandstaff Canyon. Setting out into the canyon reveals quite a different environment as we follow a clear canyon stream surrounded by lush vegetation. This contrasts greatly to the general theme of tough, scrubby grasses and shrubs on the slopes. We brush past flowering goldenrods and wander beneath thickets of willow and oak. Stuff along the trails called poison ivy, I believe. It's not something you want to step into. Our little stroll terminates in a box canyon beneath the Morning Glory Natural Bridge. We encounter at least one source for our desert stream. Rainwater percolating through the porous sandstone is slowly released from a fissure. Back in Moab, we see more rough and ready ATVs preparing for a day on the trails, though not everyone's dream of adventure has gone as well as hoped by the condition of this very expensive looking Jeep. Considering Utah's strict liquor laws, this margarita comes as a bit of a shock until you realise it's proportional to the meal.
Dinner for 6.
Thank you very much.
We've arrived in Arches National Park, and it is a very spectacular national park indeed. However, it's quite restricted to us because we've got a dog and we can't take Cricket on any of the walks whatsoever, even the lookouts. It's also very busy, and a lot of these lookouts you can't even get parking spots in. And our plan is just to drive through, have a bit of a look, enjoy it for what we can see, and concentrate on more remote and less visited areas.
We take an alternative exit to Arches, the Willow Spring 4x4 track. While far from a difficult drive, it's still quite fun.
Back on the highway, we take the Potash Road turnoff following the Colorado River in search of some off-road action.
Just turned off onto Long Canyon. Now the road's in pretty good condition, but it is a big climb and there's a few rocks. So we've chosen to go in low range and just potter on up, because if you've got a Land Rover, it's a bit like a tractor. Go slow, go anywhere. Oh dear. That one looks like it might be a bit challenging. That's going to be a job for transfer case lock. Okay, let's do it.
map, this trail was marked as an easy run, though that came with a recommendation to proceed in a downhill direction. Here we are at Pucker Pass at the top of Long Canyon. This is our front porch, it's our backyard, it's our living area. Awesome.
The mid-elevation slopes and plateaus of the south are dominated by juniper and pinyon pines that to some may appear drab and non-eventful, yet they support a wide variety of creatures. The tasty pine nut of the pinyon pine is not only a nutritious snack for humans, but relished by a good number of birds and rodents, like these hungry chipmunks. Now we're set up, and it's worth taking the trouble to get to know some of our hosts high on the hills in the Pucker Pass. A seed and insect-eating corvid in the same family as the American raven is the Clark's nutcracker. Another jay commonly encountered here is known as the woodhouse scrub jay, a good-looking but wary bird. The very busy juniper titmouse forages for insects, berries, and seeds, both on the ground and amongst the pines. We see a small flock of diminutive bush tits patrolling their grounds, as well as a green-tailed towhee and dark-eyed juncos sneaking around the bush. There's also evidence of creatures we don't see, as is illustrated by the middens outside of a likely lair.
Well, I'm going to call these done.
Good.
All right. I'm actually feeling a trifle peckish. I'm thinking that probably needed a couple more spuds. How's your spud?
Oh, it's nicely done. Plant it. Time it right. Oh, my. Oh. Nicely done, Mr. Foreman.
Oh, very good. I don't know if I got enough salt on my corn.
In Canyonlands National Park, we're at one of the few lookouts where cricket's allowed to go.
You can see that Canyonlands has some absolutely spectacular scenery and is down in the south of the park where the Colorado rivers and Green Rivers converge. And one of the best ways, I believe, to explore this park is hiking, and that's not really an option available to us for obvious reasons. So we're going to explore some of the highlights that we can see from the road, and then we're going to tackle the Schaefer track, which is an impressive set of switchbacks down a sheer cliff that'll bring us back onto the Potash Road and onto Moab.
just the road we need to get to, accessible from those switchbacks we can see up ahead.
Something that amazes me, especially here in Utah, is the seemingly impossible places they build roads. It's like somebody says, it's impossible to build a road here, and away they go. The way they zigzag up these sheer sandstone cliffs. It's incredible. Having descended quite a way, we now catch a glimpse of the Colorado River before arriving at some impressive evaporation ponds designed to extract potassium chloride, commonly known as potash. The waters are dyed blue to enable it to absorb more sunlight and heat to increase evaporation. Potash is used in fertiliser, amongst other things. After a long bumpy journey, we hit the bitumen for an easy ride back to Moab. Here we head into one of the best outdoor shops I've been in to stock up on some stuff for the next stage of our adventure, an 8-day trip down the spectacular Green River. Be sure to join us for the next episode down a truly amazing waterway in the high deserts of Utah.